Jeffcom 911, what is the address of the emergency?
"2018 was a year of growth and a year of innovation for West Metro Fire Rescue. Our firefighters answered a record number of calls, nearly 35,000, as our district continued to grow and change.
Engine 1, Engine 2.
And that dedication to service was recognized with an ISO Class 1 rating, the highest level awarded nationally. We were measured by our ability to protect the homes and properties of our residents and businesses. The #1 rating means lower insurance premiums and potentially millions of dollars in savings for the people we serve. In May, West Metro launched our Advanced Resource Medic, or ARM card. It's a program that brings medical care to the patient, avoiding a trip to the emergency room and helping combat the high cost of health care.
So you can take that every 6 hours.
Inside the place she's called home for so many years, 98-year-old June Jones knew something was wrong when the pain she was feeling just would not go away. Her granddaughter called 911. But instead of a trip to the emergency room, June is being treated at home in the comfort of her living room by the staff and resources of West Metro's ARM car, or Advanced Resource Medic.
Well, you don't want to take too much of it.
It's like an old-fashioned house call, but in reality, much more than that. Not only will June get medical treatment on site, she'll be connected to her primary care doctor for follow-up and be connected to community resources that can help her continue to live independently.
They're willing to get like a home health aide to kind of come help you with just some things around the house here and there, and just make sure that you got everything you need.
This program is all about bringing urgent care to people's homes, really providing the most appropriate treatment that we can in the most efficient manner. So ma'am, I'm just going to poke your finger, and then here soon my partner, who's a physician assistant, is going to come in and take a look at you.
Okay. The ARM car is a public-private partnership with Dispatch Health, and Dispatch Health provides a nurse practitioner or physician assistant who teams up with the West Metro Advanced Practice Paramedic.
I've been in healthcare for 15 years, basically as a paramedic as well as a PA, and I've worked in a lot of different environments, and this is the first time that I feel like I'm appreciated, like truly appreciated, and people are just really gracious and excited about the service.
There's a change from what your normal is, and I am very concerned about you.
The idea is that we can capture patients who don't need to go to the ER but have called 911. And in order to do that, we utilize the 911 system and our crews, which let us know that they have a patient who would be appropriate for us. And through that, we're able to alleviate the calls somewhat on the 911 system and provide appropriate treatment to these patients, which is in the care of their home or their office, wherever they're at. And that helps the system as a whole, be it 911 or the hospital system itself, to free them all up to see patients that are more critical in nature.
Special equipment on board and the team's expertise gives them the ability to diagnose and treat a variety of illnesses and injuries, resulting in lower healthcare costs and more appropriate treatment for the patient.
The value is that you're providing a really compassionate, competent, safe, convenient service.
I think this was really an amazing experience so that my grandmother could stay in her home. It was a big anxiety of hers to go to the emergency room and possibly not be able to come back home for the night. And I think she got all the medical attention that she would have gotten, if not more, as far as resources and personal attention from this service. Was this a better experience?
Very much better.
The impact that we've made in those patients' lives, I think, speaks for itself.
The ARM car goes where the patient is, usually at home, but the staff has treated patients who become sick while at work or injured while walking to the corner store. In 2018, West Metro introduced the innovative Lucas device to our district. The Lucas helps our firefighter, paramedics, and EMTs deliver continuous, high-quality CPR to cardiac patients. By the end of the year, the Lucas was instrumental in assisting our crews with treating several patients who would not have survived without the device.
Hi, Ted Amadon.
It's the first time that Ted Amadon has been with these West Metro firefighters since they answered an emergency call and found him unconscious and fighting for his life.
DEFCON 911, what is the address of the emergency?
We're at Bear Creek Campground right now.
Okay, is he awake?
We don't know.
And that's the last thing I remembered was sitting at the picnic table, had a brat, and the next thing I knew, it was the next day in the hospital.
The call came in as a possible cardiac arrest in Bear Creek Lake Park.
He just dropped. And we all kind of went, well, what's going on? And when we went over there, like, check on him, we thought he tripped. I listened to the guy next to me, had said he thought he had a pulse. And I remember thinking, what do you think he has a pulse?
It's been only a month since Ted's heart attack and only a month since his wife Kirsten almost lost her husband.
He completely lost his color. It just looked like he'd passed.
No, he's not.
He's not breathing?
No.
But Kirsten started CPR and with the assistance of a JeffCom dispatcher, kept it up until West Metro crews were on scene.
Keep going, you're doing really good. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
We had an incredible bystander CPR presence, effective bystander CPR. It's not always something you can count on. So Kirsten gave Ted a huge chance, and then the Lucas device just make sure that we're delivering consistent, high-quality CPR. And it certainly was one of many very important pieces, and I wouldn't want my loved one to go without that piece for sure.
Just this year, West Metro firefighters trained on the Lucas device, and several of the devices have been placed in ambulances around the district. The Lucas helps first responders deliver consistent CPR compressions, no matter the environment, key to increasing the chances of a good outcome in cases of cardiac arrest like Ted's. The device also allows emergency crews to focus on other life-saving procedures.
It relieves us, and it gets that steady CPR that needs to benefit the patient. And I think just as a whole, dispatch and getting us into the park, good provider care by us in the Lucas, get into the hospital where they can get to the cath lab. All of that came into play here to make a success story, I think.
What do you say? Thank you, and I was glad we've got another chance, and glad that we have these resources.
It's really exciting to be a part of this story, for sure.
While we were answering your calls for help in 2018, West Metro also reached out for help to stabilize our finances through a November ballot issue. The people of our district passed issue 7C by more than a 2-to-1 margin, giving us a huge vote of confidence. We now have the financial security to continue to provide the quick response and high level of service that you've come to expect. At West Metro, dedication to service starts in our Recruit Academy, and in 2018 we held 2 academies, graduating 23 new firefighters. During the academies, we partnered with Castle Rock Fire, Tri-Lakes Monument Fire, Ourada Fire, and Upper Pine River Fire Protection District to train their recruits alongside ours. It's a way to share knowledge and resources with other fire agencies, and also to try out some new and unique training concepts that teach real-life skills and lessons to the recruits.
Today we're doing search drills with our Academy recruit class. We have 4 stories here essentially that we fill all the way to the top. It's actually a pretty simple process. We use simple dish detergent, but we put that in a big bucket and then we aspirate it up with what we call an adductor, which sucks it up, and then we blow air through the machine and a fan that actually aerates and produces the foam, and that just simply blows down the stairwell, and we can fill this entire stairwell in about 10 minutes. Well, the foam is just another way we can mimic zero visibility conditions. They can't see or orient themselves in any way or fashion.
I'm on the stairs.
So you have to rely on your other senses, your sense of touch, Also talking, but even talking in an environment like this is muffled, which is similar to how it is in a fire. So your other senses have to be heightened. And that's kind of one of the things we teach them, because that's how it is in a burning structure. And this is a very inexpensive way, actually, without any heat, that they can practice searching and communicating in a zero visibility environment, with the hopes that they can translate this out onto to the fire stations on real fires, that they are more comfortable and more confident under those conditions.
I opened the door and it flashed on me.
Today is our EMS scenario day, where our new firefighters are running calls out in the district and actually transporting fake patients to real hospitals.
Headaches.
It's really important that they know how the ambulance works, where things are in the back of the ambulance. They know where the IV bags are. They know how to set everything up in the back for the paramedics. So this is just a great opportunity for our new firefighters to kind of get jogging before we ask them to run.
So think about those things. Think about what logically could have occurred.
So they'll talk to the patient, they'll ask questions, they'll take histories. When it's necessary, they'll start IVs on the patient.
He's got airway and forearm burns from a barbecue grill that flashed in his face.
When they're on the way to the hospital, we're hoping that now they can transition to doing continued assessments. They're going to get multiple vital signs. They're going to be checking and asking follow-up questions. So that helps us kind of sort through our differential diagnoses, like, is this chest pain for one reason or chest pain for a different reason? And that's so critical to what we do in taking patients to the hospital. We need to weed through all the other things that are going on that have led to us, meeting with this patient today, and get down to the bottom line of what we need to confer to the emergency room.
Grill top came down on his arm. He's got a burn on his right forearm. We cleaned it in the ambulance, put a sterile gauze on it. We also started an IV.
You included vitals, included how it happened, because always when we hear we've got a burn coming in, alarm bells go off.
Our new firefighters are actually interacting with the hospital staff, but also getting feedback. So when they're giving the information and they're doing their handoff reports, the physicians and the nurses have been awesome about giving constructive criticism to our new firefighters, so that when they hit the line and they're out there running calls, they learn what we need to tell them and what they want to hear and what might be a little extra. It's so important that we be able to interview the patient, get the pertinent medical information, and then correctly transfer that information to the physicians and the nurses at the emergency room. That's one of our most critical skills that we do in the field.
Let's go ahead and get him in the ambulance.
And training does not stop once the recruits graduate from academy. All of our firefighters, no matter how experienced, spend hundreds of hours a year learning new skills and techniques and brushing up on old ones. We know that training helps us save lives.
Let's talk about why we're here. So we're here for training. We have a lot of skills that we want to maintain. Some are perishable. Simple things like catching a hydrant. We want to reinforce the stuff we're already doing well. What can we do better next time?
Medic 1. Today, crews had an opportunity to come out and practice live fire drills at the training center. Those live fire training drills are basic firefighter skills under fire conditions. We had the opportunity to actually pull hose, practice forcible entry, practice ventilation techniques and search and rescue with victims under fire conditions. This is something that is essential to what we do.
Confirmed residential structure fire reports of victims trapped.
It's important that we have an opportunity to practice rescue skills under live fire scenarios, because life safety is our #1 priority. The simulated victims that we use in these scenarios are the actual weight and size of actual human beings. We have large dummies and we have small dummies that simulate civilian rescues, and it's something that we need to stay sharp on and practice.
Nothing replaces getting into a burn building with the limited visibility and the elevated heat. Ceiling temperatures get upwards of 1100, 1200 degrees. Floor temperatures can be 300 to 400 degrees. So as realistic as we can make it. Very limited visibility, high smoke, tough conditions to work in.
One thing I've learned in this profession is just when I think I have it all figured out, I don't. There's always something to learn. I'm always learning a new technique. Science is proving that the way we used to do things, there's some things that we've changed. So I need to stay sharp on that.
You know, all the professional athletes, even if they win the championship, they still train. Come together the next season and they start training. No, they never take a break, and neither do we.
All right, everybody, well done. Withdraw from the structure, take your tools and equipment, hose lines with you.
So each foreman get your head count and get it to the Whites Company. We want to confirm that we have everybody out of the building.
So today we partnered with a construction company that's building a local mid-rise apartment complex.
The address is 1420 Oak Street.
They were working on their emergency procedures. They had a fall. Somebody was trapped in their fall protection and fell. Big benefit here is we don't get the opportunity to do something like that very often. It's one of those high-risk, low-frequency events, so we want to make sure that we're very dialed in on what we do. The chances we have to get a training where we get to rappel off of the side of a building and get to a live victim and perform a semi-real-time event is just valuable, and working out the kinks that we have and making sure that we're smooth in the event that a real emergency does occur.
Safety is our #1 priority, making sure that everybody comes to work the same way they go home, besides a little dirty and tired. So the value of practicing a crisis management drill with the fire department is of great value, because we have a crisis management plan, but just like anything, for instance, use the example of a free throw. If you don't practice free throws, you're never going to make a basket, right? So we want our project teams to be ready any given day for any given scenario, and to enact our crisis management plan to effectively manage the crisis and get aid to the people that are hurt or worse.
10 feet.
This type of event is one of the more difficult events that we have. It's a high-risk, low-frequency event. Training increases our efficiency as well as the measure of safety that we have when we're performing these operations.
Down!
As a fire district, we often work with other agencies on incidents, both fire and law enforcement. Because of that, and especially when the situation is critical, it's important that we have a good working relationship and know what to expect from each other.
Command, did you copy?
Here's the plan. Let's have 4 of us. We'll get 2 of the cops. By then, hopefully cops are at staging. They're meeting up with you, right? And we get those teams rolling, okay? Today we're doing some joint training between the area police agencies and the Fire Department West Metro Fire Rescue to do some rescue task force training, which is designed to help when there's an active shooter incident or an active threat incident where they're injured and they need to be taken away safely.
The coordination between law enforcement and fire or EMS, depending on if it's fire-based EMS or not, the coordination of being a team in a warm zone to go in and extract injured patients, it needs a lot of practice and coordination. There's not a lot of room for error.
Law enforcement has a set of procedures, nomenclature, that kind of thing. At the same time, so does the fire department. And they don't always sync, and sometimes they can be contradictory to each other. So when we're working together in a case like this, we have to be able to come together and kind of bridge those gaps so we can work efficiently and effectively in saving lives.
Okay, we're coming out.
These events go across multiple jurisdictions, so you're always in need of a lot of help, and we've seen that play out in the Denver metro area on more than one occasion, sadly. So as a result of that, having everybody work from the same framework or the same policy it's really a big deal.
Great to train because not only does it give us a chance to get to know each other and work together, but it also identifies problems we may not have seen, gaps in the system that we've designed to work together, and also lets us actually put into practice what we've been teaching in the classroom.
We're talking about a lot of people that are getting injured in a very short period of time.
I think it's so important because it could happen at any time, right? And so what we really need to make sure we do is that we get the fire department and the police departments trained up to work together almost instantaneously. Because this could happen in 5 minutes and we could be putting into practice what we've been training here today. So we really need people to be ready to go.
We're trying to make our community safe. We need to arrive on scene, get them out of the danger zone, and get them, if they've been hurt, to definitive care as quick as possible. And so you do that by partnering with law enforcement and practicing and working out the bugs ahead of time.
So we're doing a multi-company drill with our Ourada Fire Department and West Metro Fire.
Our Ourada Fire got this acquired structure, and we're in the process of doing non-destructive training, which means we can do hose drills through this building. We can do some basic forcible entry stuff. And we've also added some props to the back of the building to practice basic firefighting skills.
Because we're so regionalized now, we share borders. There's a lot of times where we could respond to the same calls, and it just makes sense for us to be able to have that working relationship in training that we can take it out into the streets.
Departments that we work with on a really day-to-day basis to come down and do the training with us. That way we can learn techniques that other departments are using, as well as get familiar with their equipment, how the hose is coming off of their trucks, and the equipment that they're carrying with them.
One of the big things too, though, working together and training, is that we develop that bond and that trust. And so it brings a lot of camaraderie, and I think that just benefits us when we do go, on a real call. We can trust each other just like we were on the same department.
To hone skills in a non-emergency environment, so when a call really happens and we're working with other departments,
left turn!
We've already worked together, we have an idea of how tactically they're going to operate on a scene, and vice versa, and they'll know what we're going to do and the tools we bring and the personnel we bring.
West Metro is an all-hazard fire agency, which means our firefighters have to be ready for anything, whether it's a house fire, a rope rescue, or a swift water rescue. We have several special teams, and in 2018, not only did we respond to special team calls within our own district, we also sent firefighters to help out on wildfires across the country. And we launched a new team, where team members are both experts in wildland firefighting and technical rescue.
Today was REMS training, Rapid Extraction Module Support. It's a technical rescue training.
Coming fast, coming fast.
And a collaborative effort between our wildland team and our technical rescue team.
Up on main!
The Rapid Extraction Module Support is a new concept in the Wildland Fire Service for firefighter rescue. We've had rapid intervention teams for our structural firefighters for years now, and that's a pre-designated group of firefighters ready to respond and rescue a downed firefighter, injured firefighter in a structure fire.
Let's do a roll call!
This concept has developed for the wildland fire world as well.
We're ready!
Our mission once we're out there is firefighter safety. We're going to these fires that are in remote areas. Some of the firefighters that are working on the line, they've been, they're subject to fire, heat, smoke, and the steep angles in a lot of these forests and areas that we go to are very treacherous and difficult to access.
Go ahead, Ben.
The difficulty with working in steep terrain and not having pre-designated resources is you're trying to improvise on the fly when you do have an injury. And time is of the essence. We always shoot for the golden hour, 60 minutes from injury to time at the hospital, which when you're in these remote areas with poor access, that's not going to happen a lot of times. So when we can shorten that time frame by having a crew on scene ready to go, that gives our firefighters that are injured the best chance at survival and getting the care they need.
Guided!
In 2018, the West Metro REMS team was requested and assigned to 6 fires, 5 of those fires in Colorado and 1 in Oregon. In 2018, we also sent our firefighters to help out on a hurricane. Colorado Task Force 1 was sent to North Carolina to help in search and rescue and recovery from Hurricane Florence. West Metro is the host agency for the task force, one of 28 Federal Emergency Management, or FEMA, urban search and rescue teams. The members come from dozens of fire and rescue agencies across Colorado.
So there's 45 people traveling with Colorado Task Force 1 today. As compared to other deployments, we've been to, the World Trade Center, Katrina, many other hurricanes.
So R-170's ring saw.
Very concerned. Certainly there's a lot of, if you've been to that area, there's a lot of outer islands that are very exposed. And then even inland, very low-lying areas and things like that, all the way to, 2 to 3 hours inland before you start going uphill and the storm is gonna start to dissipate. So a storm surge, people that didn't evacuate, no infrastructure, access issues, so even getting into the areas where we have to boat and work and things like that.
We're going to be doing
anything is possible. So we could be spending a lot of time, you know, just doing a wide area search on dry land, looking for victims, or we could be deploying in boats and actually doing rescues via boats and, you know, traveling through neighborhoods that are submerged in water.
It's something that we're sworn to do. It's something that we signed up to do. Quite frankly, it's something that we're the best at and we're well trained to do, so we're prepared and ready to go in.
We will go above and beyond to, you know, affect any rescue we possibly can. That's what we're here to do.
As first responders, we're here to answer the call when you have an emergency. Our mission is protecting lives and property. West Metro firefighters and staff are also a part of the community we serve. That's why we attend community and neighborhood events and teach kids about safety at school.
Okay, watch out.
It's why in 2018 that we rescued a neighborhood's four-legged mascot from an icy lake in the middle of January, helped out on a metro area blood drive, decorated an engine for Autism Awareness Month and held an open house, and in December helped Santa make some of his rounds. It's why one of our crews joined a group of volunteers to help a Lakewood family fix up their home.
We are doing a community partnership today. I work with a nonprofit called Brothers Redevelopment. We received a grant in partnership with the City of Lakewood to do exterior work, primarily exterior repairs, yard work, painting, for low-income disabled senior citizens who are living on a fixed income and physically and financially not able to take care of this work for themselves.
We are volunteering by painting the house you see behind us, and this is an opportunity for us to give back to the community. Really, West Metro's mission, simply stated, is to serve and to protect the community's quality of life.
Today's project that we're doing here is actually a great partnership project because half of our team today is from West Metro Fire Department and half of our team is from the City of Lakewood. We're working for a senior citizen. Her name is Kathy and she's caring for her daughter who's 47 and has Down syndrome. Her name's Robin. It has been many, many years since the house has been painted, so it was definitely in need of some paint.
When I brought this up with my crew, I said, hey, what do you guys think about this? What do you think about going out on our day off together to help someone out that has a need? They didn't hesitate. They immediately said, yeah, let's do it. That would be great. So, you know, it's kind of a cool thing to see your crew willing to respond to calls and do their job, but to quickly say, yeah, I'm willing to do something on my time off to help someone out when I don't have to. But I want to because there's a need. I want to give back.
We're not just benefiting a homeowner, but we're benefiting ourselves by giving. We think that there is joy in giving of your time and your efforts and your talents when you're able, and so that's part of what we like to provide here as part of our community volunteer experience.
People have needs beyond our typical emergency response, and we felt, in this case, compelled to help out.
At West Metro, we understand that you often call us when you don't know who else to call. And our promise to you is that we will respond quickly and efficiently to every emergency, no matter how small. It's true, from every one of our staff members to all of our firefighters, at West Metro, we believe in whatever it takes to serve.
Jeffcom 911, what is the address of the emergency?